Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 35 of Pop Icon, the podcast. I am your host, David, host of Pop Icon Radio, live on the Alternation Radio, Wednesdays from 8 to 9 in the morning, where we talk pop culture, we play pop music, and we are here today talking the good, the bad, and the iconic pop culture news of the week. And if you've been listening, then you know that we are changing things up here at Pop Icon. We are moving to Wednesdays exclusively for the podcast and for the radio show. So Wednesdays is like the it girl. It's that day to check us out. So we can start things off with how we normally start things off, with our Billboard Hot 100 Top 10 of the week for the week of May 25th, 2024. So we'll jump right into it. We've got number 10, we've got Too Sweet, Hosier. At number 9, we've got Espresso, Sabrina Carpenter. At number 8, we've got Fortnite, Taylor Swift featuring Post Malone. At number 7, we've got Like That, Future, Metro Boomin, Kendrick Lamar. Number 6, we've got Lose Control, Teddy Swims. At number 5, we've got Benson Boone, Beautiful Things. At number 4, we've got a bar song, Tipsy, Shabuzi. At number 3, we've got $1 Million Baby, Tommy Richmond. At number 2, we have got Not Like Us, Kendrick Lamar. And number 1, we have I Had Some Help, Post Malone featuring Morgan Wallen. So, I mean, it's not just Taylor Swift this week, thankfully, and it wasn't last week either. I don't know why I said that. But that's interesting that the only two ladies on here are Taylor and Sabrina Carpenter, the best friends. Love that. I love that Benson Boone is like working his way back up the charts. Hopefully he hits number 1. He might, with a little help from our friend Lana Del Rey, with some news coming up later in the show. But yeah, this is like an interesting week. More Post Malone, Morgan Wallen, they have number 1. I guess Morgan Wallen's going to be here next week for Gulf Coast Jam. That's interesting. I can't wait. Can't wait to see him. Maybe I'll see him. Maybe he'll be out in 38. Maybe he'll stop into my job. If he does, I'll be like, hey, how are you? How are you doing today, sir? So yeah, we got that going on. We've got our box office top 10 of the week. We can jump into let's see, for the weekend of May 17th through the 19th. So number 10, we've got Civil War with 1 million. At number 9, we've got The Blue Angels, 1.4 million. At number 8, we've got Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire, 1.7 million. At number 7, we've got Tarot, 2 million. At number 6, we've got the Amy Winehouse biopic called Back to Black, 2.8 million. I said I was going to watch it. I want to watch it. Number 5, we've got Challengers, 2.9 million. Great movie. Number 4, we've got The Fall Guy, 8.4 million. Number 3, The Strangers, Chapter 1, 12 million. And number 2, we've got The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, 25 million. And number 1, we've got If. So, anything stand out to you guys? Maybe The Strangers, but I heard it's like a shot-for-shot remake of the first one. And do we really need one from like these two newbies' perspective? I don't know. Maybe we do. Maybe it's good. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But we'll jump into the good pop culture news of the week after this. So we can jump into the good pop culture news of the week. Today is Wednesday, May 22nd, so we'll jump into our Pop Icon Pop Culture History news of today, May 22nd. So our good pop culture news is that today is Ash Ketchum from the Pokemon franchise's birthday. So how old is he? What year did Pokemon come out? Like, what, 1997, 1996? So he's like close to 30 now. So congratulations, happy birthday to Ash Ketchum. We can get into some pop culture news for the week, some good pop culture news. We have got Ayo Edebiri covering the TV issue of Vanity Fair. And she's really having a year, isn't she? I mean, she was in The Bear, she was in Bottoms, she won an Emmy for, I think, The Bear, like, she did SNL. She's having a really great year, and I'm happy for her. She's, like, interesting. I've, like, watched her in a few things, and I like her, and the fact that she's, like, covering Vanity Fair, like, at her young age, that's, like, kind of wild to me. So, that's fun. That's awesome that she can do that. We've got some more good pop culture news. We have got A24 releasing the latest poster for Maxine, the third in the X trilogy. We had X first, we had Pearl after that, and now we've got Maxine. So the Mia Goth starring Maxine comes out into theaters July 5th, and I am stoked to go see it. It's got so many people in the cast that are interesting. We've got Halsey's in it. We've got Lily Collins. I think, who else is in it that I like? Michelle Monaghan, of course. Who else? I think Kevin Bacon. That's kind of crazy if you ask me. I love the new poster too. It's just Maxine at like a red carpet event. She's saying hi to the camera. It says Hollywood is a killer, and I mean, it really can be. And there's like little throwbacks to the franchise, like on the back of her, like it's like a shot from the back, like her straps like make an X, she's wearing like a pearl necklace, like, so these little callbacks, they make all the difference. She's got like blood running down her wrist. I'm like, oh my god, did she try to kill herself or somebody trying to kill her? So that's like fun. Obviously, I'm gonna go check it out the day that it comes out in theaters. Maybe I'll even go see it July 4th night, you know, why not? So I'm excited to check that out. Definitely if you guys are into like horror slashers, this looks like it's gonna be like right up your alley. So check it out if you guys got a little bit of curiosity for it. In other amazing pop culture news, we have got Legally Blonde prequel series Elle being ordered by Amazon from Reese Witherspoon's Hello Sunshine. Hello Sunshine. Hello Sunshine. Her banner, part of Candle Media. So the project is created by Laura Kittrell, who will serve as the showrunner, and Elle will follow Elle Woods in high school. I don't know how I feel about that, as we learn about the life experiences that shaped her into the iconic young woman that we know and love in the first Legally Blonde film. I feel like, didn't all of Elle's like character development happen in the first movie? Wasn't she like vapid? And I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm very curious to check it out. I hope that it's like framed like, what I hope it is Reese Witherspoon like talking back on her like experiences as Elle Woods, and then maybe like get her daughter who looks just like her to star as Elle Woods. I don't know. I feel like that's like kismet. I feel like that would be perfect. And I don't know. I feel like a lot of people would be into that. What do you think? You tell me what you think, guys. So that's super exciting. I love the Legally Blonde franchise. And I talked about this like weeks ago that Amazon Prime was going to be developing a bunch of like projects based off of existing like movie franchises. And this is, I guess, the first of many to come. So they picked the right one to go first. I think that everybody has been like clamoring for some more Legally Blonde. Everybody loves Reese Witherspoon, even whenever she's like, you know, giving the business of the cops, being like, don't you know who I am? I'm just kidding. We didn't love to see that, but I mean, everybody's got their bad days. So we can talk about, speaking of bad days, we have got Kevin Costner. We've got Kevin Costner. It's not a bad day. I don't know why I said that. I don't know why I linked it together. I guess I was going to say it was a bad day because he spent $38 million on his latest flick. But, I mean, is that really that bad whenever you're, like, creating something that, like, means everything to you? So he's put up his own money, his own property to make a grand Western epic titled Horizon. And he is also covering GQ magazine. So congratulations to Kevin Costner. He's always been a big deal. He like saved Whitney Houston from like, I don't know, was it like a stalker? Was it the paparazzi? I don't even know what the premise of The Bodyguard was. I just remember that like he was her bodyguard and they like loved each other, and he was like her greatest love of like all time, and I think that's really special. It's really not good though for him because he like, I think he just like left his wife, or his wife like left him, and they're like feuding over like properties and stuff like that. And it started because he's been working on this flick called Horizon, an American Saga. So it began production back in summer of 2022. Horizon and American Saga Chapter 1, let me say that. So I'm like, how many other chapters are there going to be? So Chapter 1 comes to theaters in June, followed by Chapter 2 in August. And I mean, I'm here for it. He's like an older man. He's worked his entire life. I feel like he should be able to do what he wants to do with his money. And if that's like make a $40 million Western like epic film, I mean, why not go for it, Kevin Costner? I'm your biggest fan. I'll follow you until you watch me. So we've got some interesting Marvel Cinematic Universe news. So There's been all this talk about the Blonde Phantom, who I'm like, who the fuck is the Blonde Phantom? I've never heard of her before. Like, who is she? She's not anybody like super popular, but apparently Scarlett Johansson is bringing her to our screens on Disney Plus as a television series, and apparently Taylor Swift is in the running to portray her. I'm like, who is the Blonde Phantom? What is even like her name? I'm gonna look up the Blonde Phantom right now so I can get like an idea. I feel like her name is gonna be something like super basic, like Jean or something like that. They were always like Jean or like Betty or something like that. Oh, her name is Lois Grant. So she premiered in September 1946 as a character, but I'm like, I have not seen her in the years coming, or in the years like since. I'm like, what was her last like appearance? And I guess she was on She-Hulk for a couple of issues. That's interesting. We'll see if Taylor Swift is going to be teaming up with, what is that? Tamsin something? I don't know. Tatiana Maslany, I think her name is maybe. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, why would they be focusing on the Blonde Phantom whenever they've got all of this new like X-Men news that's going to be coming out? And I'll be talking about that at the end of like the pop culture, like good pop culture news, because that's like our main event. We'll be talking, I guess, about Billie Eilish releasing Hit Me Hard and Soft. She released a music video for the song Lunch, and she's like very like queer friendly. Like, I don't know. It's interesting to see this like new wave of like pop music that like embraces being kind of like a like stud like lesbian. We'll talk about JoJo Siwa a little bit later in the show into the bad pop culture news, because her life is like a little bit scary right now. But I don't know. I guess I'm here for Billie Eilish, like trying things out. Like, it's always embarrassing whenever you first like come out of the closet and like you're trying to find your identity. And so I guess she's allowed this like moment here. So we have got up next, we've got Katy Perry revealing a new logo that looks very like futuristic, looks very like Charlie XCX. So maybe she's coming back with some new music. I would love to hear it from her. She was the biggest thing of the 2010s, and like we just like left her behind. And I'm like, it's not right. It's not right. It's not okay. But you know what? She will make it anyway. And I'm here for it. Katy Perry, you deserve all of the accolades, all the awards, because you really got thrown into the bus for a little bit by Taylor Swift, kind of. So we can talk about more from A24. We talked a little bit about the A24 Maxine poster being released earlier. Now we have the first look at the Smashing Machine, where Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, stars as MMA icon Mark Kerr in the new Benny Safdie drama. So Dwayne Johnson is pretty much unrecognizable in this newest picture. He looks like, I don't even know how to describe it. I don't even know how to describe how this man looks. He just looks off. He doesn't look like The Rock. And you know what? That's okay, because he's portraying somebody else. He's portraying another man named Mark Kerr. And I looked up Mark Kerr, and he kind of does look like him. Not like all the way, but like kind of. So we'll leave that there, I guess. I'm not really that interested in it. Maybe I'm interested in it. The Iron Claw, Zac Efron, that was like very like, that was a good movie. I got teary-eyed at one point during it. We've got Marvel releasing some news to end our pop culture good news of the week. We've got Marvel releasing some X-Men movie news, as we have our writer being revealed for the first time. So Marvel has hired the Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes writer Michael Leslie to pen the newest X-Men movie for the studio. It will be the first movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it won't be the first X-Men in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as we've seen Kelsey Grammer as Beast, we've seen now Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and I'm thinking we've seen Colossus from the Deadpool movies. We'll be seeing a lot more. I think we'll probably see like Cyclops and Storm, but we'll see how it goes whenever Deadpool 3 comes out this summer. So Marvel has returned to the world of X-Men this past year with X-Men 97, a reboot of the popular X-Men the Animated Series that launched all the way back in 1992. It was met with a little bit of controversy. Beau DeMayo, the writer, was fired the day of the of release, and it was like kind of crazy. There still hasn't been revealed. I'm like, what is the tea there? But the X-Men the mutants of the Marvel universe are going to be coming to our screens, I guess, in 2025, hopefully 2026, who knows, 2027, maybe. I would love to see it. I've got so many ideas of what I want to see. It's like, do they do the original 5? Do they do the all new, all different team? Do they do the X-Men 1992 team? Like, there's just so many ways that he could go about it, and I'm interested. So we're going to keep our eyes posted on that. We'll get into some more pop culture news after this. We'll get into the bad pop culture news. So like I said, we're going to be talking about some bad pop culture news now. We'll start things off with the pop icon pop culture history, bad pop culture history news of May 22nd. We'll take it back to 2017 when 22 people were killed at an Ariana Grande concert in the 2017 Manchester Arena bombing. That was a rough one. Rest in peace to all the people that lost their lives during that. I know she was like traumatized from that. Can you imagine you're like performing and then turns out 22 people died because of that, because they were coming to see you? I don't know. Like, you shouldn't have to live with that on you. But it's really sad to think about too. So that's crazy. Thoughts and prayers out to everybody who passed away. Thoughts and prayers to Ariana Grande. Wild. That was really wild, wild west. I don't know. So it was like a terrorist bombing, and it was one of the worst, I think, in recent history. So we'll get into some more bad pop culture news of the week. We have got... Did you guys see that Diddy video? I know that you guys saw that Diddy video. So disgraced music mogul Sean Diddy Combs said over the weekend that he has hit rock bottom at the time of his 2016 video footage being released showing him assaulting his then girlfriend Cassie. Diddy, who is facing multiple allegations of sexual abuse and sex trafficking, seemingly apologized this past Saturday for the 2016 assault, a day after CNN published hotel security footage of the incident. The video shows the hip-hop star and entrepreneur chasing, kicking, dragging, and hurling a glass vase at Cassie in a Los Angeles hotel. So, I'm sorry. That is fucking wild. How does that hotel have that fucking footage and not blast his ass? I guess you don't do that because obviously you would get in trouble for that. There would be lawsuits and all that. But I don't know. How could he get away with that? I don't buy his apology at all. He's not sorry that he did it. He's sorry that he got caught doing it because, he was doing this in 2016. He's supposedly been doing this since the 2000s, early 2000s. I don't know. Cassie and Diddy settled a lawsuit this past year because he had physical abuse allegations against him from her in a lawsuit that she filed in November. She settled afterward. They both settled afterwards because he knew that he probably knew that this was going to come out. There's nothing you can do besides say, I'm sorry, give them money and move it on. So Diddy caught heat from more than just Cassie's legal team over the weekend. They said his statement was pathetic. And you know what? I agree with them. I agree with her that he's pathetic. He's a pathetic man. So I guess we have former Bad Boy rapper and Belizean politician Shine condemning Combs' repugnant behavior, saying there is no place for violence against women anywhere on the planet. As a father of a precious daughter, a global citizen, and the next prime minister of Belize, I want nothing to do with people who engage in this pattern of diabolical behavior. My thoughts are with my prayers are with Cassie and all the other victims who have come forward with horrendous allegations against Mr. Combs. So Shine served 8 years in prison from 2001 to 2009 for a 1999 shooting that involved Combs and his then girlfriend Jennifer Lopez. But she's glad that she freaking got out of that one. She's not the only one, or he's not the only one who's coming out. I think another woman came out. Some model said that he came after her recently, and I'm I believe it. So we've got some more bad pop culture news to talk about. We have got Kelly Rowland at Cannes going off on security. Why? So we have got Kelly Rowland from Destiny's Child. Everybody knows her, obviously. Singer Kelly Rowland scolding a Cannes Film Festival security guard because she was becoming too aggressive with her. So it was kind of crazy to watch Kelly Rowland go off on this woman who it seemed like was just doing her job, but from... who seems like was just doing her job from reports. I read that and I'm why is she getting mad at a woman for no reason? And then I watched the video. And the woman is pushing her. Is literally pushing Kelly Rowland putting her hand in front of the like cameras that are like taking photos of her. I don't know. She was like doing too much. And so Kelly Rowland like had to just go off. So Kelly Rowland, let's see what she actually said. She goes, "Don't talk to me like that. Don't talk to me like that. You're not my mother. I told you not to talk to me like that." And so, then she stopped at the top of the stairs and went off on her some more. I'm like, ooh, she is not taking that. Saying, don't talk to me like that. So basically, all I have to say is to that security guard, fucking leave Kelly Rowland alone. Let her fucking wave to her fans. Let her take pictures for the paparazzi and do what she's supposed to do there at the Cannes Film Festival. So, like, stop it. So we've got some more interesting news. We've got Glen Powell news. So I guess Glen Powell spoke with The Hollywood Reporter and said that he opted out of appearing in the newest Jurassic Park movie, saying, "Jurassic is one of my favorite movies. It's one of the things I wanted to do with my whole life. I'm not doing that movie because I read the script," and I immediately was like, my presence in this movie doesn't help it. And the script's great. The movie's gonna fucking kill. It's not about that. It's about choosing where you are going to make an audience happy and where you're going to make yourself happy. So the upcoming reboot, which reportedly will be titled Jurassic City, was announced earlier this year and teased a new era for the Jurassic Park franchise. Reports suggest that a reboot is coming. So I guess Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard aren't going to be coming back in. Apparently they're going to be replaced with Scarlett Johansson and Jonathan Bailey. So that's interesting. Are you guys going to watch it? I might. We'll see how it goes. Glen Powell has had like such a turn to become like leading man lately. I mean, I remember him whenever he was first on Scream Queens. I thought he was like kind of funny on there, but I never thought he'd be like the biggest thing in the world, which is kind of what he is right now. Especially with Twisters coming up this summer. It looks really crazy, and I don't know. He also was like, he starred in the Top Gun flick with, what is it, Maverick, with Tom Cruise. And so he's just like becoming like a pretty big deal. He was in the Sydney Sweeney Anyone But You movie. Still haven't watched that, but I kind of want to. So we've got that little bit of news with him going on. We've also got some JoJo Siwa news coming up. So I guess fans are mocking JoJo Siwa for seemingly getting drunk in a room by herself on her 21st birthday. I'm like, wait, what? So I guess JoJo Siwa has been making headlines after she seemingly got wasted in Epcot at Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida. The singer was celebrating her 21st birthday, but it looks like she had a little bit too much to drink at the theme park, raising concern among her fans. So she celebrated her birthday May 19th, 2024 by grabbing drinks throughout the theme park, running into fans, and attempting to start a sing-along to her latest hit, Karma. However, fans did not exactly know the words, leaving her to finish the lyrics herself. Oh, that's so embarrassing. The Dance Moms alum, dressed in her signature bejeweled construction jacket and oversized denim shorts. She accessorized her outfit with Black Minnie Mouse cap, ears, and glasses, themed for her 21st birthday. She was spotted with her mom and her Special Forces co-star Tyler Cameron, who was from The Bachelor, I guess. Does she have friends? I don't know. I would just see her doing that dance, running around doing that little dance that she always seems to do. And like I was saying earlier with like Billie Eilish, like, let these little like gay kids like come out and be awkward and weird. Like, I feel like I was probably like, I don't know if I was so much like awkward and weird as I was like fighting for my fucking life whenever I first came out of the closet. So I'm like watching them like just get to be like a weirdo. I'm just like, I don't see anything wrong with it. And I guess I can talk about that later on the show because we've got some bad pop culture news and it has something to do with like kind of my coming out story, I guess, in a weird way. So I don't know, maybe all that bad publicity is like causing like Disney and Pixar to like lose money, because apparently Pixar is now laying off 14% of their staff as Disney is looking to cut costs. So Pixar Animation Studios is laying off about 14% of its workforce as Disney seeks cost-cutting measures and scales back on content made for streaming. This move comes after Disney did a wave of layoffs last year in an attempt to boost profitability. So that's kind of sad. 14%, that's like a lot. It's almost 25%, which is like a quarter of your like staff. If you got 100 people, 25 people will lose their job. That's like wild. Well, I guess if you don't have 100 people, 14 people will lose their job, which is still a lot. I'd be like, if I lost 14 people at my job, I'd be like, where are they at? Where did you take them? It's like wild to me that they like aren't able to Their flicks are like 100. They make billions of dollars. How are you not able to have 100 people like working for you? Or I don't know. They could have like 10,000 people working. I don't know. So that's like awful. That's got them like super stressed out, I guess. In other stressed out news, we've got the stressed George Santos using Ozempic again to lose weight ahead of his looming trial, saying, "I'm too old to be a twink." And I'm like, were you ever? So expelled Congressman George Santos is back on Ozempic in a bid to lose 70 pounds. The New York native tells the Page Six exclusively that after he lost more than 100 pounds, the stress of his alleged crimes took a toll and he gained the weight back. So those of you that have been keeping up with Pop Icon know that last May, prosecutors charged Santos with embezzling $50,000 in campaign money to buy designer clothing and to pay personal expenses. He was also accused of abusing COVID unemployment benefits and lied to Congress on financial disclosure forms in which he claimed to be a millionaire. He's pled not guilty, so we'll see how this trial goes. He is a lot to take in. He's kind of funny, but he's also like terrifying at the same time. So Santos, who hopes to shrink down to 200 pounds from 270, has been contemplating GTX workouts at his local gym to help shed the weight faster, saying, "Okay, I'm 6'2". I don't want to be skinny. I'm too old to be a twink anyway." I'm like, if he shows up here and he's got like a ripped body, I'm gonna freaking lose my mind. But that'll also be hilarious. I know somebody who's like on Ozempic right now, who like, or the Ozempic like other brand, I don't know, like semaglutides, whatever it's called, who reminds me just of George Santos. So I'm like, I would love to see the two of them in a room together. We've got some really sad news. We've got Bravo star, ex-Bravo star, ex-Southern Charm star, Kathryn Dennis being arrested for DUI. Her mugshot was released, so she is facing some serious legal trouble after getting busted Monday night for driving under the influence in South Carolina. They say she was involved in a 3-car collision, and her state at the scene of the crime was one with glossy eyes and an odor of alcohol coming from her person. So this is her first offense with drinking and driving, although it isn't her first run-in with the law. She had a hit and run back in November 2023, I think, that we talked about, at an elementary school. And I'm like, Kathryn Dennis. Poor Kathryn Dennis. She started out on Southern Charm as like a 20-year-old that was dating some 50-year-old man. He had a child by her. He abused her. He like put her on drugs. Like, it was so sad. She like eventually like got canned from the show because she was like being a little racist. And obviously that's not going to fly. But I don't know. I just feel bad for her. It's just like really sad whenever you think about like her trajectory in life. Like, she was able to like star in Bravo for like a little bit, but she's like now getting DUIs and like drinking at the school. So sad. So in a little bit of bad pop culture news, we have got Red Lobster, America's largest seafood chain known for its shrimp and its Cheddar Bay biscuits, has filed for bankruptcy. The seafood restaurant is been in hot water after a series of bad choices, including an ill-fated promotion for all-you-can-eat shrimp starting at $20. So almost 580 locations in the U.S. and Canada are expected to stay open through the process, employing about 36,000 workers. Last week, dozens of other Red Lobster locations closed abruptly. Their entire contents, including freezers, ovens, booths, and lobster tanks, have already been auctioned off. So that's like some sad news. Red Lobster has been struggling for over a decade as diners have pulled away from large casual dining restaurant chains. And I wonder if that has anything to do with the fact that I left Red Lobster like close to 10 years ago, or it was over 10 years ago, and they started going downhill after that. So I'm not saying that the two are like linked. I'm just saying that it's a weird coincidence. That's all I'm going to say. So in the recent years, Red Lobster has been losing out on both ends, to fresher, nicer, more local restaurants and to cheaper, quicker spots. So that sucks for them. Red Lobster was like definitely an interesting moment in my life. It is where I learned like a lot about myself. I made some really good friends there, some friends that I'm like close to this day. My friend Ryan, obviously, my friend Chase, Ryan, who I'm gonna go see I think for my birthday in a couple of weeks. But like also Red Lobster like gave me a lot of like heartache and anxiety and just stress in general. I like came out of the closet while I was working at Red Lobster, and it was already like stressful enough because of the fact that like I was having to come out, and my mother like knew the franchise owner, and so I felt like shit, I have to fucking tell her now. Great, like I have to tell her. Like usually you can like get a little bit of like away from it, but it was already coming out of my job, so I was like I have to fucking say something about it before it gets back to her. And like I was like getting outed at my job by this little bitch who like Chase was dating at the time, who I hope she's doing good. She was like on and off drugs like from whenever I knew her, so I said, so like I say, I hope she's doing good, but I don't know. I really don't know anything that's going on in that girl's life. I know things are good over here. So thank you to Red Lobster for doing what you needed to do, put me on the right path. So that's like sad. There's been so many celebrities who have like worked at Red Lobster. I'm just like one of many. Like Nicki Minaj worked there, and Nicole Smith, Jonathan Majors, even though he's canceled right now. All of them have worked at Red Lobster, and so that's interesting. That's like sad news for them though. We'll get into our iconic pop culture news after this. So we can talk about some iconic pop culture news of the week. We'll start things off with the pop icon pop culture history of May 22nd, 1933. So this day in 1933 was the first modern sighting of the Loch Ness Monster by Aldi and John McKay, who saw something resembling a whale. I'm like, what? A whale? Is it how a killer whale? Blue whale? Like, how big are we talking here? So, I mean, that's iconic, right? The first modern sighting of Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster. What do you think? Do you think she's real? Do you think she's out there waiting for us to find her? I don't know. I feel like she probably isn't. So we've got some iconic pop culture news. We have got Mikey Madison talking on being Sean Baker's Anora, saying, I've never had a character written for me. I was in disbelief. So the Cannes Film Festival is going on right now, and Sean Baker has premiered his newest film. Sean Baker did The Florida Project. He's done so many other like crazy movies. But he talks about molding the film around Mikey Madison and how the story's Cinderella sex worker theme harkens back to Pretty Woman. So I guess director Sean Baker and his Anora star, Mikey Madison, have talked about the process that they went into doing the film Anora. So Anora follows Anora, a young sex worker from Brooklyn who gets her chance at a Cinderella story when she meets and impulsively marries the son of a oligarch. But the fairy tale is threatened when her fiance's parents set out to get the marriage annulled. So Sean Baker came out saying Mikey had so much to do with the development of Anora. I wrote the script for Mikey. We had a meeting and asked if she was interested. I said, okay, I'm going to write you a script and come back in 3 months. It took a year. So I guess Mikey Madison jumped in saying, I've never had anyone write a character for me before. I was in disbelief. We kept in touch the whole time that he was writing and talked about the character and what we wanted to portray. So Mikey Madison, who is from Scream 5, she was like the killer in it. She was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She's really making a name for herself. She's getting a lot of buzz for her role in this film, so I'm very curious to check it out. Ivy Wolk is going to be in it too. Who Ivy Wolk, I don't really like know her from anything, but I know her from the video of her saying like, I wasn't in the movie, talking about Fear Street. That was the first thing I saw her in, and then I started following her on social media, and she's like really smart. She's like very vulnerable, and I think that she's like iconic. Sometimes she says like the wrong thing, but I think she's also just young and figuring out what the right thing is to say sometimes. And I don't know. I appreciate her. We've got some more iconic news. We have got South Park. South Park is going to be going on an Ozempic journey this season. Well, more so Cartman from South Park. So we have got an episode of South Park coming out talking about like the journey about Ozempic, and it will feature Cartman going on Ozempic and losing weight, and he looks just like all the other kids now. I'm like, oh my god, if I could have been like on Ozempic whenever I was like 10 years old, oh my god, I would have been I probably would be dead by now. What do you mean? Like, that's wild. That's iconic. Curious to see how that episode is going to pan out. We've got some more iconic news, and that Avril Lavigne is addressing the conspiracy theory that she was replaced by a lookalike after dying 21 years ago, with her saying it could be worse. I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? I know I've heard this for years, that Avril Lavigne was supposedly like replaced with a woman named Melissa, and they will like post pictures of like Avril Lavigne back in the day and Avril Lavigne now, being like, this is not the same person. So the Canadian rocker has addressed her complicated identity on the latest episode of Alex Cooper's Call Her Daddy podcast, reacting to the conspiracy theory that suggested she died in 2003 following the release of her 2002 debut album, Let Go. She goes, it's just funny to me. Like, on one end, everybody's like, oh my god, you look the exact same. You haven't aged a day. And other people were like, there's a conspiracy theory that I'm not me. Saying it could be worse. I don't know. If somebody said I was like dead, I'd be like, I'm not. I'm alive, I swear. It's me. It's me, Jessica. So it's like funny. I haven't really heard like too much Avril Lavigne music, so maybe she just needs to go on podcast and talk about like the scary truth of being Melissa. So we've got some more iconic pop culture news. We have got the baby that has stolen the heart of everybody on the internet by saying that she wants to stay at the Four Seasons Orlando. And the hotel has responded. So a video of a baby saying that she wants to stay in the Four Seasons Hotel has gone viral on TikTok, garnering 34 million views and 4.4 million likes. In the clip, a dad is holding his daughter, who is wearing nothing but a diaper, as a woman off screen asks, "I have a question for everybody. Who wants to go to the Four Seasons Orlando?" Immediately, the baby puts her hand up to say, "Me." I don't know why everybody thinks this video is so fucking funny, but it is.
To go to the Four Seasons Orlando.
Me. Oh, and then the dad just like, me. I don't know. It has gone so viral, and everyone's just like, why is the baby so conscious? Like, and then the viralness of the Four Seasons Orlando like came out. And it's like, it looks kind of nice, actually. I want to go check it out, saying, I guess they are responding saying, "Who wants to welcome our newest ambassador for the Four Seasons Orlando?" I hope that baby gets paid big for this. Let the baby work the front desk. It's so aware. Some people are saying that's hilarious. That's amazing. That baby. I wish I went viral. I'm glad I didn't go viral as a baby, because then I would have that like pressure the rest of my life. Like my first video, 34 million likes, and I was one in that video. 9-2, hopefully I get like 10 million views. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We can talk about Julia Fox talking Real Housewives news. So Julia Fox, just like everybody else out there, is not here for the fractured cast dynamics on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Julia Fox, 34, was a guest on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen on Monday, May 20th, and was asked about her 2 cents about Teresa and Melissa's frosty relationship in season 14, saying, "Is it refreshing to you that Melissa and Teresa are basically being very clear that they hate each other?" The actress and model stepped in saying, "No, I think you need to step in and say, I'm your boss and we have a show to run." And I'm like, oh my God, she sees it. Exactly. That's exactly what needs to happen. Fox says that she wants to see Teresa and Melissa just be on screen together. If they're fighting, we want to see it. If they're crying, we want to see it. As we know, this past season, the two of them have refused to talk to one another. And they're not fighting. And it's just like awkward. It's making the cast like split in half. And it's making them all fight about the fact that nobody's like talking to each other. I don't know. Kind of odd. I love that Julia Fox is on Teresa's side, though. She's like calling her an icon, and she is an icon. She's a total icon. Are you kidding me? So obsessed with that. We've got, did you guys see that like NASCAR news? Like that fight that was happening. So I guess Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Got into an altercation with Kyle Busch after the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Steinfeld's father, who joined the fracas, also was suspended. So the $75,000 fine that was handed to Ricky Stenhouse Jr. After the altercation. The two tangled on the first lap, and then Busch seemingly tried to deliberately wreck Stenhouse on the second lap. Stenhouse parked his damaged Chevrolet in Busch's pit stall and aggressively climbed the spotter's ladder and exchanged words with members of Busch's crew. Stenhouse then stormed to his hauler, leaving his car to be towed to the pits, foreshadowing that he'd be back after the race to confront Busch. They did exchange brief words before Stenhouse, wearing shorts and a t-shirt, landed a right hook on Busch, and a big old brawl like broke out. And his dad got involved, and I'm just like, I watched the video. I watched the whole video, and I'm like, I know exactly whose side I'm going to be on. I'm on Stenhouse's side, because Busch, he was like acting like too fruity. I'm like, you need to stop the way that you're talking right now. Like, you obviously hit him on the first lap. Say you're sorry and move on from it. I don't know. It was like kind of annoying to me. They're both not doing too well this season. One is in 13th in standings and the other's in 26th. So I'm like, they're not even like the big dogs like fighting. So that's like hilarious. We've also got some more iconic news. We've got Sexy Red linking up with Lana Del Rey. Have you guys seen the video? So I don't know, it's hilarious. Sexy Red, the rapper, Lana Del Rey, the songstress, like, met up, I guess, at Hangout Fest. Lana Del Rey also brought out Benson Boone to perform with her that day. And I saw that Sexy Red was there with Zach Bryan, I guess, twerking on stage for him. How does that make you feel? It made me feel uncomfortable. I'm like, I don't like this. I am here. I think it's hilarious watching Sexy Red and Lana like hang out. They look like somebody said they look like every high school in Florida, and I'm like, that is more true than you fucking know. That is more true than you fucking know. So that's funny. That's iconic that the two of them are like linking up, and I love that Lana is like linking up with Benson Boone too. I love his song, and she let him like do his thing. So thanks for that, Lana. We've got our little bit of last pop culture news. We have got Billie Eilish versus Taylor Swift. Have you guys heard about it? So apparently the girls are fighting. And it seems like it is because Taylor Swift is not a girl's girl. So apparently Billie Eilish came out a couple weeks ago, said that the artists that put out multiple copies of their albums are like harming with like the use of plastic. I don't know. I'm like, stay out of it, girl. But supposedly she was talking about Taylor Swift whenever she said that, because Taylor had just like announced like a bunch of like vinyls that were coming out. Billie Eilish also puts out like a bunch of vinyls. I don't feel like what the fuck they're talking about. Like they both do the same shit. So apparently it's been a back and forth ever since. Billie Eilish put out her album this past week, and Taylor put out a version of her album with new songs on it. And so I'm going to keep my eyes posted on that one. Billie Eilish versus Taylor Swift. I'm like, who's bigger? Taylor Swift's probably a bigger celebrity, but Billie Eilish is probably more relevant to like the younger generation now, and they probably are going to stick with her just like, but then I'm like, in 10 years, she's going to be fucking Taylor Swift. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to think about any of it. I just know that I'm glad that I don't have to think about it too much. I can just listen to music. It's good. I need to check out Billie Eilish's new album, and I'll let you know what I think of it. But I think that's all we're going to talk about this week, guys. If there's anything that I missed out on, let me know. Text me. Call me. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. But that's going to be the end of this show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you guys already don't, be sure to check out Pop Icon Radio on Instagram at Pop Icon Radio. And maybe throw me a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. I'd love that. Or even YouTube. Or even comment on YouTube. Who knows? But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will be back on the radio next Wednesday from 8 to 9. And we'll put out another episode then too. So until then, we will see ya. Bye-bye.